Significant update coming after midnight. We now know a 17-year-old from Banks has been charged with 3 counts of murder, as well as 10 counts of attempted murder and possession.
So, a 17-year-old in the UK has now been charged with attempted murder and murder of kids. He's barely lived his life, and he's killed people that have barely lived their life. They haven't even begun to start to live their life. They attended a dance class, hobbies, activities, as most young people do, and their lives was stolen from them. Now, as a parent, okay, I'm a parent. As a parent, what are we supposed to do? We don't want our kids on the streets. So we put them in clubs and centers and give them hobbies and stuff that's off the streets. And then this person went off the streets to go into a premises to rob these children of their lives.
Related article. He will appear at Liverpool City Magistrates Court later this morning. Those murder charges relate to the deaths of 6-year-old BB King, 7-year-old Elsie Stanko, and 9-year-old Elise Aguiar in Southport. That incident took place on Monday.
A 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Wait.
Elise Aguiar in Southport. That incident took place on Monday. And 9-year-old Elise Aguiar King, 7-year-old Elsie Stanko, and 9-year-old Elise Aguiar in Southport. That incident took place on Monday. We know that police were called to reports of a stabbing at 11:50 a.m. that morning in what Serena Kennedy.
In the morning, in the summer holidays.
As a ferocious attack. In that incident, 8 youngsters suffered stab wounds, 5 are in a critical condition, alongside 2 adults who are also critically injured in an incident that caused widespread sadness in the community. We've seen a sea of flowers laid at the scene of the incident.
Parents, I don't know what to say. If you're a parent, I don't know what you do. Summer holidays, you put them in the dance class off the streets because you don't want them on the streets. They're off the streets, and they're kids. Even if they was on the streets, these are kids. When I was a kid, we used to play football and stuff in the streets, and the older people, they would like, get us a kid. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's it, they used to interact with us. Now this 17-year-old idiot, like, I just want to see what the consequences is going to be for this guy, this person, this monster. Like, I'm sorry. Say what you want to say. I'm on this eye for an eye. Like, I'm on this eye for an eye. And for the algorithms and stuff, I don't want to say exactly, but he needs to receive what he get. What he dealt, he needs to receive. I'm sorry. Like why we don't want this individual to be rehabilitated. We don't. No, forget that. Yeah, like, forget that. Like, no. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is gonna offend anyone or whatever, but he needs to get what he this isn't like the same thing as, like, gang on gang, and you felt scared for your life, so you went. No, this is no. I'm not with it. I don't respect it. I don't rate it. I don't like it. As a parent, what do you do? Nah, he needs to receive what he dealt. And I don't care who's offended. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to receive what he dealt. Like, I don't understand what's going on with the UK right now. It's like it's literally in turmoil, If there isn't gang violence that's spilling out everywhere, it's not in the nighttime back streets no more. This is broad daylight now. If it's not gang violence being delivered broad daylight, then it's innocent bystanders getting killed, murdered. Then they're taxing the pensioners' pension. You know, like like how is anyone supposed to live on the young end of the spectrum and the older end of the spectrum? They're literally choking everyone. Like I don't get what's going on in the UK. It's like the place don't want you to survive, thrive, you know. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's so not good. Like I don't know what your thoughts is, but what's your thoughts on the state of the UK? If you got an opinion or whatever, leave it in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. But honestly, man, I don't know. I don't get it. It's not feeling cool. You know, it's not feeling safe. You know, as I said, I'm a parent. And I really wouldn't know what to do. It literally just feels like it's better to leave. It looks like it feels like it's better to leave. Because if it isn't one thing, it's another. If it ain't one thing, it's another.
Just going to take you to Downing Street, just outside Downing Street, in fact, where there are protests.
So if you don't know, 10 Downing Street is the building that the Prime Minister occupies. It's like the equivalent of the White House.
The way involving a right-wing group called Enough is Enough.
So it looks like a vigilante group have gone down to protest outside 10 Downing Street, and it's looking like it's got a bit hostile. And yeah, it looks like there's riots. There's a bit of heave-ho and a bit of argy-bargy with the police right now.
And as you can see, scuffles have broken out with police after the protesters threw flares towards the gates of Downing Street. And this demonstration taking place in the wake of the murders and the subsequent riot in Southport. Basically, a few hundred protesters chanting "Rule Britannia, Save Our Kids, Stop the Boats," and they attempted to leave.
What can you say? It just looks like there's a heavy unrest in the UK right now. You know, and the pot, it looks like it's about to boil over. And I'm not too sure if people are ready for when the pot boils over. Something needs to get done. Because if the people are, if the leaders are leading, then we need direction and we need to be led. If the leaders are leading, we need direction. We need to be led. And it's almost like people are doing whatever they want because the consequences doesn't seem to be enough of a deterrent for them to not want to do these things. Now there's other countries where, you know, if you do some things that isn't liked, is against the law, you've been warned about, you will, oh, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn that then. You know? Like, Because when these vigilante groups start taking law into their own hands, you know, and when they start to literally form something, you know, how do you know they won't be bigger than the police, override the police, overrun the police? I'm just saying, they be Prime Minister, Mr. Minister, something needs to be did. Something needs to be did. Did, not done. Did. You know what I mean? Because this is it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Like, kids are losing their lives left, right, and center. But these innocent summer holidayers, children, they didn't. I'm not saying anybody deserves to lose their life, but these kids didn't deserve that. And you know, some of these vigilante groups, some of them are there because their friends are there and they just want to not start trouble, but they want to do something rowdy, whatever, cool. But some of them are there because their parents and they're concerned, and they're like, nothing's being done, or they don't believe nothing's being done, you know. So I can't really blame them, regardless of whatever group their whatever their ideals are, whatever they think, you know. If there's a agenda behind what they're doing, whether it's racist or not, you can't blame them. You know what I mean? You can't blame them. And you know what? They're standing on their business, you know, because what else is being done here, you know? And again, I say it again, this 17-year-old, you know, piece of pestilence, yeah, we don't want him to be reformed and released. I don't care about I don't want to hear about his story in 25 years' time and his wanting forgiveness and then him wanting to teach other kids and stuff that was in his position. I don't want to hear that. He needs to receive what he dealt. You know what I mean? Like he needs to, because these 3 children were 6, 7, and 9-year-old. Come on, no, not having it. I have no idea what's going on in the UK, but I just feel like everyone can't leave. But I feel like if you can leave, you get out of there, because it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's looking terrible. It's looking terrible. Look at this. So
the cleanup began.
Listen.
First light. Hours earlier, these residents had cowered in their homes. Now they emerged to reclaim their street.
So off of the back of the Southport stabbings, right? There was a riot in that same very area, right? And this video is titled "Hooliganism and Thuggery Field Disorder as Town Clears Up Damage." So when the riots was kicking off of the back of the Southport stabbings in the local area of Southport, right? You know, there was things burning, bricks getting tossed, you know, fights being broken out, police getting pushed back and all that, right? Now, the next day, the community, the Southport community, they not only had to go through what they went through as a community with the stabbings, okay? Then they had the riots. Now themselves as the community are coming out to do the cleanup job.
And clear the riot debris from their doorsteps.
I got woke up at 6 and then I came down here and I thought I'm going to walk around, and literally it was like a war zone. There was bricks, rubble all over. And then I just knocked on one of the neighbours' houses and just said, "Can I have a brush please, just so I can do my bit?" And then I was brushing up, and then the entire community has come together.
Residents were joined by council workers, their mission to restore normality. Walls were rebuilt. A scorched road was resurfaced. The night before, this was the scene as darkness fell. Southport's mosque was the target. Rioters' anger fueled by claims, wrong claims, on social media that the teenage suspect for Monday's stabbings is a Muslim and an immigrant.
The abuse.
Now that's quite ignorant, and it's like, I yes, you want to see justice, but why does one person from one group have to affect the rest of the people from that same group that did nothing? Like, why? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? It's like imagine someone does something to me, but then rather than me going back and getting revenge on that person, I go and punch their postman. It's like, well, just because he delivers to the house, okay, he must know him, he must be affiliated. That doesn't make no sense, and I hate that senseless, ignorant type of vengeance. Like, go to the source. Go to the source. Like, if you wanted to go to their parents' house and say, listen, your son did this, man. Like, what did or didn't you do for your son to be fair? So he grew up and he's doing this type of stuff. Like, not that. No. We're gonna go to the news said wrongly. So they don't even know. They don't even have facts.
Started and chanting and then the bricks throwing and fire throwing until the police came. It was terrifying. And when the police was here, it even intensified even more because the police were targeted.
Police struggled to defend the building. A police van was set on fire. A resident's doorbell camera caught the rioters attacking police and the police response. Another showed a rioter dismantling a wall for ammunition. One protester was hit by fellow rioters. The convenience store was damaged and looted.
It was devastating, and there's,
So this is what upsets me about rioters and rioting. Now, they've smashed out their own community. Okay, let's say see, it doesn't, I can't even justify it. Why, if you want to prove a point and you want to be heard, then go to somewhere substantial, which is not community related. So, because you don't want to fight for the community but affecting the community at the exact same time. That doesn't tell me that you care about the actual situation. It's not about the situation. Like I don't even want to say places, right? Because I'm not trying to think, but if you want to be heard and you want to be, why not go to certain landmarks, that isn't community based? Like, why are you gonna loot local convenience stores? Because if you're there trying to riot because you're upset with how things are being run, right? Like in the government also. What did the convenience store person do? What did the convenience store person do? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
point I thought is all gone. It's a sad. I was watching the CCTV, what's happening, and then the point they just coming in. My kids was watching as well, and it's sad. Basically, they're taking all the expensive stuff, the alcohol, cigarettes.
More than 50 police officers were injured, many of them
So they looted and took the alcohol and cigarettes. Let's say if they looted, for example, because they're like, okay, we're running out of things to throw or whatever. So they took the alcohol so they could burn it, so they could throw it, like whatever, okay, for example, okay. They took it for their own personal gain, like.
To hospital.
They were there purely for hooliganism and thuggery, in terms of bringing that level of violence and that behaviour onto the streets of Southport, and that's not what this community is about. We saw the very best of that community last night at the vigil. We've seen the very best of this community this morning when they've all been pulling together to support each other, to put right the damage that has been done. That is not what this community is about.
There is evidence that protesters were being rallied hours earlier on social media to gather at the mosque.
I was told by a friend who's also a local councillor before midday that he was aware that the far right were intending to come here, and from his perspective.
I don't know, man, but yeah, the UK is a mess right now. I don't know what to say to my fellow Brits, but it might be time to relocate. You know, it might be time to relocate, especially if you've got children. It's all good, you being brave and patriotic and saying, nah, this is my country and I've been here forever or whatever, but for the kids, they don't deserve that at all. You know, this isn't, you know, one of those, it's not even an accident. You know, this is, yeah, it's terrible. I'll leave it there, guys.